I'm going to be talking about the rise of the woman, the rise of the feminine energy. Past couple years, past couple decades, I should say, there has been this acknowledgement of giving women more freedom. I should say, I don't want to call it freedom. I should say, giving the woman more of a voice, right? Giving the woman more of a voice, giving um, women more opportunities. Um, Not only in the Western world, but in the whole world in general. But this is more prevalent in the Western world, right? And just to say, this is only my opinion, right? This is only my opinion in this video about the rise of the woman, right? For me, I think this is still a learning process for humanity. What I see currently is that women are replacing men, right? And in many circles, right, women are replacing men, or the voices of women are replacing the male voices, right? And what you're seeing is that men are feeling left out. They're feeling, they're feeling left out. They're feeling cast away. They don't feel as relevant as they used to, right? They don't. They see what their father, their grandfather was um, acting. They see what they were able to do, and some of them feel cheated that they aren't capable of fulfilling that because growing up they were told that they needed to man up in certain aspects, right? But we're living in a different world currently where the feminine energy is is being shown more, is being pushed more out in the mainstream, right? And again, feminine energy doesn't have to be gender specific, right? Men have feminine energy, women have masculine energy. This is not gender specific, right? The thing is that what you're seeing right now, and this is just my opinion, is that women are just what's happening now is just what I'm seeing is women are just replacing male voices, or they're just seen as a replacement, right? It's a first step towards valuing women or giving women a voice. But what I'm seeing is that it's like the women are still uh in their masculine, right? They just replaced the masculine in the men, right? If you understand what I'm saying, right? They're replacing men in corporations in terms of being bosses or CEOs, right? Or leaders, right? But you're seeing it in a way where it's more it's kind of like it's still in its masculine energy, right? Because what we we as humans have always seen feminine energy as weaker energy, right? And in this society you cannot be weak, right? You cannot be seen as weak. So what I'm seeing is women feel like, some women, I'm not saying all, just I see it as a majority, but I'm not saying all. A lot of women are feel like they're forced to be in their masculine, unconsciously or consciously, right? If they feel like they need to be in their masculine because this is still a masculine world. I'm not going to say it's a men's world, it's a masculine world, right? It's all about competition, it's all about being better than your competitor, right? And that's not a normal way to express masculine energy. Some call it toxic masculine energy. I'm not gonna call it toxic masculinity. I'm just gonna call it unconscious masculinity, right? Where it's all about dominance. It's all about projecting power through force, right? And that's what I'm seeing through with the women, right? That's what I'm seeing with some women, majority of women, right? They were not, it's not their fault. It's just all of this is just a learning process, and I feel like all of this will be adapted into something more of a healthy, um maybe um a healthy masculine energy, or it'll be adapted into a healthy feminine energy, right? Because what you're seeing right now is like still uh the women are just a copy of what the men were, right? Again, it's all about dominance, right? It's all about dominance and power, right? So that's what I'm seeing. um it's just the feminine energy still seen as the weaker energy, right? Don't get me wrong now. um Creativity is being pushed out in the forefront, right? You're seeing a lot of uh you're seeing more now of an acknowledgement of being more creative, right? Being more soft. um but it still seems like it's more of just a projection, right? It's not embodied, right? It's still not embodied. It's still not fully embraced, right? It's still not fully embraced yet. Um, it's still not fully embraced. That side is still not fully embraced, even by the women, right? Like I said, they're being given. Women are all of this is that women are being given a a a voice in a masculine world, right? And they're seeing that and they feel like they have to replicate it in order to survive. It's all about survival, right? And in humanity's eyes, um, to survive, right? To survive, you have to be mostly in your masculine energy, or what we think masculine energy is, right? Which is dominance and just force and abuse, right? So the women are being put out into the masculine world, and they're replicating what they saw with the men, right? They're replicating what they saw with the men, but it's more of a with the woman's touch, I would say, with the woman's touch, right? Because if it was truly a healthy feminine expression through the woman, right? If it was fully a truly expressive feminine energy that was expressed through the women that are being put into these leadership roles, or that are being how should I say this, that are being heard, like you hear the voices the most, right? You would see a world that is not as competitive, right? Less competitive, um more love, more generosity, I should say, more generosity, more accepting, more, when I say accepting, I mean not only that you're giving, but you're receiving as well. More receiving, I should say, right? People are not. I find people are they're less in a listening state, right? Everybody wants to dominate. Everybody wants to, and then when I say everybody, I'm including the men and the women here, right? Everybody wants to the women have been shut out for so long that they're they're expressing like their anger, and their anger is being amplified, right? Nobody wants to listen, right? So that's the unconscious masculine energy that I'm talking about, right? If the women were truly in their feminine energy, right, there will be more of a healing energy throughout the world, right? And I feel like that that is the purpose, the true purpose of giving women more of a voice, giving women more of a platform, giving women more more of the leadership role, right? To mother the the humans of Mother Earth, right? That is that's what I feel like the purpose of giving. We're still learning that aspect, but first we have to accept, we still haven't accepted that part of the woman yet as a collective. And since we haven't accepted that part of the woman as a collective, she is expressing what she sees through, she's only reflecting what she sees through the men, right? She's only expressing that because she feels like that's the only way to operate, right? We've lost that aspect of um I feel like we're losing, women are losing the aspect of being motherly. Not when I say motherly, I'm not only saying motherly to only children or kids, but losing the aspect, losing the instinct of being motherly to like just strangers, not only your people in your family, just strangers, not only your kids, but just other people, right? Just being gentle and gracious, right, to the external world, right? We're still learning that, as we're still learning to accept that aspect. We're still learning to applaud, um put that part of the woman on a pedestal, if you know what I'm saying, because that's still being a leader, right? We don't, when we see, when we think of being, when we think of leaders, we think of them being in a masculine energy, a worldly masculine energy, one that is unconscious, unconscious masculine energy. That's how we witness leadership, right? And leadership isn't always that way. Well, true leadership isn't always that way, right? True feminine, true feminine leadership is what we think of the mother, right? True feminine leadership is what we think of the mother, being receiving, right? Being receiving, being soft, gentle, right? And you don't always have to be that way, but I'm saying if we're going to, if we're going to give the woman a voice, a big voice, or amplify the woman's voice, amplify the woman's thoughts, or bring woman into the leadership role, we have to accept her as, we have to accept this aspect of her, right? Which is not being, still not being fully accepted. Yeah. Thank you for watching this video.